Welcome back, everyone, to Pod of Thrones. I'm Jeff.
I'm Jennifer.
I thought we were going to do today's episode about a show that we started checking out on Hulu called Why the Last Man.
Uh-huh. That's what I thought, too.
And then all of a sudden, I started seeing press releases out of nowhere. Oh, and I think a hot tip from one of our listeners about TUDUM, which was this Netflix extravaganza. Now, they just did WitcherCon, which was like 3 hours of nothing but Witcher content, where they were just talking to cast.
Yeah.
We covered that a while ago. We saw a couple sneak peeks of what was going to happen soon.
Netflix has an interesting take on interviews, or how they're
Yes.
An interesting way of, like, I don't know, pre-showing things, I guess. I don't know. It's weird
very
format.
Casual.
It's a strange format for me. It's like a big open room.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, it's not even a room. It's all green screen. But yeah, like they sort of pan from person to person, even though none of them were ever there at the same time.
No, I'm talking about the people that start sitting on the couch.
Oh, okay. Some of the interview stuff.
Yes.
Well, we didn't have as much of that in today's thing, but there was a lot of that in the WitcherCon thing.
Well, there was
some, but like today's thing also had like a lot of...
The reason why I'm mentioning it is because it was produced in the same way. It was like the same kind of feel.
Yeah, totally. But this one had a lot of also like just cell phone content, like stars holding up their cell phones in front of them to answer questions from fans and do little skits with each other and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that was what felt different, but I don't know. It's strange to me.
But before we talk about TUDUM, we do have a couple, as always, Game of Thrones headlines. I'm going to go first because mine's stupid.
Okay.
I hope yours isn't stupid, but mine is dumb. So here was what the headline was that roped me in. And maybe some of you, if you saw it online. Jason Momoa disses Game of Thrones finale, vows vengeance for Khaleesi.
What?
It sounds pretty intense, right? And the article itself is only 3 paragraphs long, but it starts with like, Game of Thrones was one of the biggest cultural resets of the 21st century and commanded legions of fans. However, the incredibly disappointing finale season has caused it to vanish without a trace. Well, that's not true. We're still here. None of you can hear this, but Jennifer was just looking back at the noise of slobbering as a dog is licking his parts. But I don't think that's going to make it to microphone.
I hope not. It's really disgusting.
Oh, podcasts are fun, aren't they? If only we had a real studio. Put the dogs outside the studio.
No, they'd still be in with us.
They'd be in the...
Are you kidding me? They'd be whining outside the door.
Well, if it was a soundproof room, that wouldn't come up on microphone either.
No, we can't leave them outside the door.
Oh, sure we could. The finale featured a haphazard scene of events that see Daenerys Targaryen being killed by Jon Snow. Okay, so whatever. Whether you like the finale or love the finale, this article obviously did not love the finale. Now, in a promotional video for Dune, actor Jason Momoa alludes to the finale. So Dune's coming out soon. Looking forward to seeing that. Mm-hmm. Blah, blah, blah. Talks about Dune a little bit. But then, okay, so then he was quoted in this little video. He said, just saw the season finale of Game of Thrones last night. And then he just says, the fight's for you, Khaleesi.
That is bullshit.
Or this fight's for you, Khaleesi. Well, what does that even mean? Does that mean
that
he
means it was
hated the finale?
clickbait.
Yeah. That's really what it means more than anything. But it made it to the top of my news feed for Game of Thrones shit a few days ago.
So somebody's like paying to be put at the top of the list and feeding them like bogus material. It's not new.
Well, it's not even... Oh, not new?
Right.
Well, I think this video was just released somewhere along the line because it's from like the set of Dune. So...
But that can't be the headline.
Just thrown in the middle of a larger video.
Ay.
Yeah. So that That was my headline. I got all like, oh my God, this is going to be big. And then I clicked on it and it was garbage. So now none of you have to click on it. Because you know it's nonsense. This fight's for you, Khaleesi. That's it. That's all he said. Your turn.
Okay, well, I don't know how new this is, but I have all of the cast, or at least I'm assuming most of the cast for House of the Dragon.
Okay.
Have we talked about this?
I mean, a long time ago, but there were headlines that they just added a bunch of new people or just
Right.
announced that I think they're done filming it or close to done or something. So it's probably not new casting, but new announcements of casting, right?
Oh, I don't know. Should I just talk about the new people?
Hey, talk about all of them if you want. We could use some reminders.
Okay, I'm just going to name the people real quick. I won't go over who they are or all that stuff. Okay, ready?
Well, if we recognize them from something, that would be good to know.
Oh, I was trying to be quick. Anyway, we've got Emmy D'Arcy. Is that how you say her name? D'Arcy? I think so.
Probably. Or it
She's
could just
from-
be Darcy.
Truth Seekers, which I really liked. From Amazon.
That Amazon show.
Yeah.
Oh, who was she in that show?
She was the girl that started the whole adventure off. It was a kind of, she encountered a ghost on the very first show.
Okay.
And then she got lost or something and ended up in their van because she was on the side of the road or something running. I don't remember exactly, but
Right.
it was a really good show.
And if you guys haven't seen that show, it's still worth a watch. It didn't get renewed for a second season, but it was pretty fun.
It could have been bigger and better, like more scary stuff.
It was Simon Pegg and Nick Frost and some other people, some additions, but doing they sort of stumbled into ghost hunting, like real ghost hunting.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah. All right. So, she's going to be, of course.
Oh, I got it here. I looked it up on IMDb. She's Rhaenyra Targaryen.
Okay. Which would make her whose sister, cousin, aunt?
I don't know. We could try to dig in. We'll have to dig into that pretty hard before the show begins. But as it stands, it probably just means she's going to wear a really white wig.
Yeah. Matt Damon. Matt Damon.
That would be a huge casting announcement.
Not Matt Damon. Matt Smith.
Right.
From, of course, Doctor Who.
Now, you said something. You saw he's Daemon Targaryen, but you saw a picture of him recently and you said what?
I don't want to be mean. But I never found him appealing whatsoever.
Oh, ouch.
He's got, okay, I'm sorry. Don't listen. I can't say anymore.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be that
All
way.
right.
Anyway, yes. I'm not a fan. I don't know. Olivia Cook. Oh, you know who he's going to be.
What? Oh, Matt Smith, Daemon Targaryen.
Okay, so we already said that. Olivia Cook.
Right.
You know who that is? Bates Motel.
Oh, well, okay. I didn't know about Bates Motel, but she was in Ready Player One, which is one thing that we saw.
Oh, yeah.
With the kids a while back. Not a great adaptation of a pretty fun book, but it had its moments.
All right. Unfortunately, it's not telling me their...
Alicent Hightower.
Yeah, it's not telling me their names.
It's fine. I got your back. I'm cross-referencing as you go.
Okay.
So she's not going to be wearing a crazy white wig because she's a Hightower, not a Targaryen.
Right. Patty Considine.
Mm-hmm.
Considine. Eve Best.
He's what?
No, this is the next person.
Oh,
you got to say what they're
He's
doing.
He's going to be playing. Well, I thought you were going to tell us what we know him from, if anything.
I
but
don't.
He's Viserys Targaryen.
Oh.
So that's an important name, but he's got to be a different Viserys than, Daenerys' father.
Yeah.
Right? And not with his Ares Targaryen. Who the hell? Oh man, it's been a while. Oh, Viserys. No, that was her brother, wasn't it? Yeah, that was her brother.
Okay.
Viserys.
Thank
Remember
you.
the guy with the gold head?
Yeah, of course. Eve Best.
Princess Rhaenys Velaryon. So related to the Targaryens, I guess, because Valyria was the language that Daenerys speaks, Old Valyrian, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. She was on Nurse Jackie.
Okay.
All right. Graham Mctavish.
That's a cool name. I like him already.
He was Dwalin in The Hobbit.
Oh, okay. I don't super duper love those movies, but not because of the acting.
Millie Alcock.
Oh, he's going to be playing Sir Harold Westerling. So again, not a Targaryen. Sorry, who's the next one?
Millie Alcock.
Millie Alcock.
She was in Reckoning, The Gloaming Upright. She's going to be...
Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen. but then it says next to her name, Young. So maybe flashbacks or something.
Okay. Sonoya Mizuno.
What?
No, wait. Sonoya Mizuno. Mizu.
Okay, playing someone named Missaria. Now, just looking at her, well, she's Japanese. I don't know. They did a lot of like mixed ethnicities in casting the Kingdom of Dorne, which was sort of Middle Eastern themed, but there were various Asian people, actually there.
Okay.
So just looking at her picture on IMDb, I'm guessing she's probably going to be Dornish or similar.
Okay. Unfortunately, yes, it doesn't tell me. It just has their names.
Yep.
She was in La La Land. La La Land.
La La Land.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Crazy Rich Asians also.
Oh.
Rhys Ifans.
I think it's Rice.
Oh, that's right.
Otto Hightower. Well, he was in Notting Hill, which was like forever ago, but he was in The Amazing Spider-Man playing the Lizard. I remember it was that scientist guy that experiments on himself and turns into a lizard. Okay, now there's a dog getting tangled up in cables. Podcasting is hard when you have a puppy. Do not bite the cables.
I think he's got to go to the bathroom. Anyway, he was the front man for a rock band called Welsh. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I have not.
The Peth and Super Furry Animals also.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Fabian Frinkle.
I'm sorry.
Fabian Frinkle.
Oh, there we go. Kriston Cole. That's a cool name, though. Fabian Frinkle.
Yes. Fabian Frinkle.
Frankel. Not Frinkle.
Frinkle. Sorry, I have a weird...
It's okay.
Steve Toussaint.
Gotta find it on the list here. Oh, him. Lord Corlys Velaryon.
All right.
He caused one of those stupid I hate everybody hubbubs a while ago because he's playing, someone from, I guess, old Valyria, one of the... But the point is, he's black.
Yeah.
And people just immediately got up in arms as soon as a photo of him went wide of like, oh, but Valyrian people can't be black. Or it was one of those things again. People are the worst.
Okay, he was in Judge Dredd, Shooting Dogs, Prince of Persia. Let's just try to keep it. Emily Carey. I don't know. Grace Beauchamp in Casualty. I don't know.
Emily Carey is playing Alison Hightower. Young.
She's very young. Danny Sapani. That was all I have.
Okay. Well, it's
Danny Sapani.
It's good. I mean,
I know him. He's a good guy.
I don't see that guy on
Misfits,
the IMDb
Penny Dreadful.
List. What?
Black Panther.
We watched Misfits. That was
Star
a great show.
Wars. Oh.
And funny, he's not yet on the IMDb's list of all the people in the cast. What was his name?
Danny Sapani.
All right. Well, I mean, I'll be glad to see him. He's this guy. Okay. He's like one of those guys that you recognize, but you're like, where from? All right. Well, I'll be happy to see him in any case because he was in stuff I love. So there we go.
But who was he going to be? Oh, he was the...
Well, he's not on the list here, so I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
I got to let the dog out.
Should we take a break?
Ooh, yeah, we didn't even get anywhere. So maybe
a word from our sponsors. And we're back. The dogs have bathroomed, sort of, and everything's better.
Eating my butt.
Well, and that frees us up to talk about, say it with me, TUDUM. Oh, come on.
I didn't know what was going on.
Let's try this again. And now we're free to talk about
TUDUM. Oh my God, that's so lame.
Netflix is really embracing their own branding. I mean, what can you say?
Yes.
So there's a bunch of stuff that looks good. And there's plenty of stuff that we ignored. And, apologies to the anime fans. Like, we just don't have time for that. I know, like, we have one of our friends, shout out to Eric, I have a different shout out. But he's a big fan of the Cowboy Bebop, old anime or manga. And there's a live action version coming to Netflix soon, but it's just not in our wheelhouse. But I did have another shout out, stupid me. Remember Iego, the guy that redid our logos and was working on some visual stuff for us? Super nice guy. I just have to say this because it's awesome, it's been at least 5 weeks, I'm saying, based on when we talked about 5 weeks or more, no cigarettes. So
congratulations. That is so hard.
Yes.
It's a very hard habit to break.
Mm-hmm. I never did it, but you did, right?
Yes, yeah. I did.
You were a smoker once.
I was.
Yeah. Would you quit when you had kids?
Yep.
Okay. Because you didn't smoke when I met you. That
Nope.
would have been a no. Bad. All right. So good job, Diego. All right. Back to TUDUM. We even have some Game of Thrones stars coming up and some stuff that we're going to probably be pretty interested in. But let's just take it in the order that we saw these things. I will also play a few of the trailers so we can enjoy them together orally. That's it.
Audily?
Orally, but AUR, not ORAL, but
Okay.
orally. Through our
Sounds
ears.
dirty.
It's through our ears.
Uh-huh.
You can't have that. You can't have oral sex. That just doesn't
Okay.
work. No, but not orally with our mouths. We'll listen orally with our ears. Anyway,
Got it.
I will also include in the show notes, I made a playlist of the trailers for the shows we're going to be talking about here.
Okay.
And we won't watch all of them. So the first one up, Red Notice. Not something I had heard of before today, but it looks like a lot of fun. It's just a movie, not a show, not a series, but stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson,
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
He's going to be our next president, not Ryan Reynolds.
No, he was born in Canada.
No. Rock.
Yeah? You think he's going to go for it?
Him and Tom Hanks, yeah.
Well, that would be a fun
Tom
ticket.
Hanks should be the president, and The Rock should be the vice president. Because Tom Hanks is a little more serious.
Okay.
Although maybe The Rock would be a good figurehead.
Maybe. I mean, I hear The Rock skews a little conservative, but not terribly. You know, just probably
I'd
closer
vote
to a
for him.
centrist. I mean, I might too. I mean, at least I know he's got some integrity. And then also, so we have The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, who's awesome, and Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman herself.
Great cast.
And I don't know anything about this movie except that The Rock is some kind of secret agent. Ryan Reynolds is partnered
Maybe
with
a
him.
cop or something.
Maybe what?
A cop.
Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah. Maybe he's the mall cop.
Maybe. And then Gal Gadot appears to be the villain, but maybe not. I mean, who knows? The tables could turn at any moment. But they showed us a clip that's not worth really playing because there's not much talking and a whole lot of ass kicking. But she has some kind of artifact, some egg that's very pretty. And they're trying to get it away from her, and she whoops their asses. Not that Ryan Reynolds was a big factor in that fight, but The Rock, you know, he's The Rock. But
Yeah.
he gets his ass kicked by Gal Gadot.
One of the moves she does was pretty amazing. I've never seen it done before.
Which one?
The last one. I don't want to spoil it.
But it's in the trailer.
Well, I know
mean, it's
people are
not
going to
like-
see it.
But
All right. Well, I'll say it
I
then.
mean, I don't remember what her last move was.
It was the one where she did the handcuff chop.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah.
Handcuffing two people together and then chopping the handcuffs so that their heads knocked together. That was good. That was good. So she's amazing. She's always fun to watch. So we're going to have to watch that movie.
Yes.
I don't know if it
Can't
hits
wait.
any like nerdy buttons that are normally in our wheelhouse, but it's
Of
just going to be
course. I love all of those people.
but too good to ignore, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to be awesome. Coming to Netflix. That's a big, like, getting The Rock is, and Gal Gadot, too. I mean, it's kind of a
And
big deal.
Ryan Reynolds now.
That's true. I feel like Ryan Reynolds, even though he's a pretty big movie star, I just kind of feel like he's up for anything.
Yeah, I do
all
too.
the time. Because if
I
it's
do.
fun, he'll do it.
If it's fun and good for something.
But The Rock is doing, like, big Disney movies, and then we got
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. Yeah, so good for you, Netflix. The next thing we saw, Stranger Things Season 4 is coming. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember off the top of my head how in-depth we've ever covered Stranger Things, but it has come up before
A little
with
bit.
convention coverage. We've talked about how much we like it. I don't think
It's a good show.
We haven't done like season by season breakdowns. Perhaps we should to refresh everybody before the long awaited season 4 comes out. They showed us a quick preview. They called it Creel House, but again, not even really worth listening to per se, because it's mostly just music and sound effects and stuff. But apparently part of the show will take place at this old house, which we see bright and shiny and awesome in the 50s, I think. A family moves in. It's super idyllic, except then weird things start happening with the lights flickering on and off. And then I think people died.
Yeah, that flashes to a scene where there's the dad standing at the front door and his two daughters are laying dead behind him.
Well, are they dead?
Well-
there was no blood. See,
I think the That's what it wanted us to
It sort of
think.
looked like they were dead, but I don't want to jump to any conclusions on that.
And then the house like flashes to modern day, like a broken down, what a haunted house would look like on the inside.
Very much so. And then the kids break into that.
Right.
And they're looking for clues. Mm-hmm. But that's all we know. So we don't know anything else.
And there's a clock ticking ominously.
Mm-hmm. In the attic, I think.
Yeah. And then it shattered at what time? I don't know.
Oh, God. I don't know if that was important or not.
Yeah. I mean, I think it might have been.
Now, this wasn't even an official, trailer. It was just a look at the show. We know nothing about the plot.
Right. Well, we know that cop guy.
Yeah.
Sheriff. What's his name?
Why'd you do this to us?
I wanted to say hamburger.
Captain. That's not a bad description. Oh, God, you're killing me. Captain Hamburger presumably died in the last season.
But they said he's in Russia.
Yeah. I guess there was some other clip they released a while ago. Didn't catch my radar. I feel bad about that. But yeah, he's definitely alive and he's in Russia, which they sort of hinted at that at the end of the last season because the Russians had their own portal. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot coming in the world of Stranger Things, but it's not coming until sometime in 2022. They don't even have a date yet. So, bummer.
It looks good, though. Kids are older.
Yep.
Of course.
They're aging faster than they probably are in the show. Mm-hmm. Pretty soon this show will have to be set in the 90s instead of the 80s if they're not careful. But I think there's going to be, I think they said there will only be 5 seasons of the show. They mapped out the plot. I'm pretty sure that was said a long time ago.
So 2 more seasons?
Uh-huh. The next thing I wrote down, and I'm still going to say it even though I took no notes whatsoever, but I thought you'd be excited, is Bridgerton.
It's fun to watch, but I don't know if I could follow it again. I'm going to have to check it out just to see if it's just as good, but the story, that kind of story is not good for me long term.
Okay. You watched the entire first season. You started watching it without me, so I came in halfway through and sort of half paid attention to it. There was some sexy stuff. Yeah,
but
which I think was the main appeal.
It was a little bit uncomfortable because she was so young. She was my thought was that she was 16.
Lady Bridgerton, whatever her name was.
It just felt like she was too young. She might have been older,
the actress was older.
I don't care. I mean, the portrayal of somebody that young, but maybe she wasn't. I don't really know how old she was supposed to be. She just looks really young.
In the Victorian era, that would have been fine.
I know. Totally that's normal. Why it makes me uncomfortable because I think it probably is what it was.
Probably what it was. And then what's his face? The guy. What was his name? Do you remember?
No.
All right. But the love interest dude, the hottie that everyone fell in love with, was definitely an adult.
Right. Most definitely an adult, a man. Body. He was definitely a man.
What a man.
What a man. He's sexy. He's too sexy.
But he's not going to be in season 2.
He's right. I know. But he's the kind of guy that if you were with him, you would never feel comfortable because he's so sexy. He's so perfect. He doesn't feel like a real person.
Are you implying that you don't have that problem with me?
I'm so comfortable with you.
Yes, I have the body of a man who could make you comfortable.
I'm just saying he's very pretty.
I know. He's much prettier than me. I'm not arguing.
I mean, don't you find him attractive?
He's a good looking dude. I mean, he's no Luke Cage. Remember that guy?
He's a different kind of...
Luke Cage was just
Luke Cage is not
show.
Pretty. He's just hot machismo.
Well, right. There's a difference there. Mm-hmm. That's true.
He's a different kind of man. Mm-hmm. I could be comfortable with that kind of man.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Me too.
Not pretty boy over there. I would feel so uncomfortable.
Okay. All right. Next up, the Sandman. Now, what do you know about the renowned Neil Gaiman comic book series?
Nothing. I know zero about that. But I do know that the dog is eating something downstairs. I can hear it.
Well, you're just going to have to let him eat it.
Okay.
This is a professional podcast, damn it.
Okay.
Okay, so I know almost nothing. Like, I know a couple of the character names. I never read and I know I say this a lot, but I have nothing against comic books. I respect them as an art form. I just never got into it when I was younger or older. It just didn't enter my direct line of sight. So I don't know anything about it, except a few character names. And sort of, I have images in my head of like pictures I've seen along the way, but I don't really know much about it. I did look it up for this. It was a 75 issue comic book series. So that should be easy to acquire in like the compiled graphic novels. And I think I might have to do that.
No, we don't need more.
What?
Nothing.
Sorry, Neil Gaiman.
No.
She doesn't want me to get your comic book.
We don't have any room for that.
We have bookshelves.
Look at your bookshelf.
Yeah, well, don't worry about it. I'll find a place. So it was a 75 issue comic series, plus there were a couple like little follow-ups later, but short content. I don't really know what it's about, except people, some kind of like cult of magic-y folk try to capture death, which is what we see in the trailer. Now,
Shorty.
There's going to be a familiar voice in the trailer, which I'm going to play for you now. It's very short trailer, just a minute and 14 seconds. So let's listen along.
Okay.
Tonight we will achieve what no one has even attempted. We will summon and imprison death. I give you a coin made from a stone. And I give you a feather pulled from an angel's wing. And I give you the blood from my vein. We summon you together! Come!
Death has family, desire, destiny, despair.
Which one have I got?
Dream. You're gonna need all the help you can get.
Okay, well, there it was. Now, who was that voice you recognized? Hopefully all of you got it. It was Charles Dance, Tywin Lannister from Game of Thrones, playing the head of this, some kind of cult of magic-y people. Mm-hmm. They were trying to capture the incarnation of death. They failed and got a different incarnation instead.
They got
the Sandman himself, Dream. Yeah.
He was kind of dreamy.
But the other reveal that they had on the TUDUM was that Death is going to be played by someone named Kirby Howell-Baptiste, who I got excited for right away. And did you recognize her?
And I said, who?
Yep. We know her first and foremost from The Good Place. She played the Australian neuroscientist whose name escapes me at the moment, and I'm sorry. But we also saw her just last night hanging out with our friends watching this movie called Happily.
Oh my God.
What a weird movie. It was a 2021 like COVID creation. There was like a minimal cast. You could tell it was sort of like a small production. And it had so much going for it. I mean, Joel McHale, who I'm a big fan of, and Carrie Bechet was the female lead in the movie, and lots of other people you'd recognize for sure. Like the whole cast. They're all great.
Yeah, we were super excited.
And it was a really intriguing movie for a long time.
It was intriguing the whole time because you're like,
okay.
What the fuck?
It wasn't. Yeah, I agree. It was no. Do not bite the cords. Damn dog. No. No biting the cords. We're a professional production. It was a great. It was an intriguing movie the whole time, and then it ended with just it was like you're about to have an orgasm and then it just kind of like whimpers out of you.
Yeah, it fizzles.
It just bloop. Yeah, it was a little disappointing, but if anyone's seen it, you want to talk about it, give us a shout. But But anyway, Kirby Howell-Baptiste is awesome. So I'm looking forward to her having a role in this very dark. She's played such sort of a smiley character in the things we've seen her in, but now she's going to be the incarnation of death. So that's the Sandman. Now, next thing up on my list, Cobra Kai season 4. Holy shit, is that going to be fun? Now,
looks fun.
We've talked about Cobra Kai a few times. We haven't gone in depth on it, but it's been so long. I might want to do sort of a catch up for anyone that has been watching along with us. Season 4, season 4 is coming December 31st, which is more of a problem than it seems like. But it does feature the return of Terry fucking Silver. And I was excited about that. And you said,
who?
To which I say, shame on you. So, all right, we've already had returns of like the major characters from the original movie, of course, you know, Kreese and all that. And then not Cobra Kai, Karate Kid Part 2 took place in Okinawa. And last season he went back there and met up with the major characters from that movie.
Yeah.
So now we're taking a page from Karate Kid Part 3. So Terry Silver was sort of the big bad of that movie. There was a kid that Daniel had to fight, but I don't know if we're going to see him again or not. But Terry Silver was the guy behind the scenes pulling the strings.
Gotcha.
And pretending to be a nice guy to Daniel when really he was trying to fuck with Daniel's head and get him all so he couldn't win a fight. Mm-hmm. And he was an old friend of Kreese's from the military. So we actually saw his precursor, like the young version of him. We saw him in the flashbacks of season 3. He was one of the few guys that survived the Vietnam prison camp that they were stuck in. So the original actor from the third movie is coming back to reprise his role, and I'm super excited. It's only going to take like a minute again. Let's just take a listen to the trailer for Cobra Kai Season 4. It's so much fun.
Okay.
Many of us used to be enemies, but rivalries don't need to last forever. The All Valley tournament is just a few months away. The stakes are higher than they've ever been. We know that Cobra Kai is going to use every dirty trick in the book. There's only one way we're going to be able to beat them.
By kicking their asses so hard, they shit themselves. They strike first, we'll pre-strike.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
We're going to take back the valley.
Take it back in a measured and organized approach.
We bite first.
They're not the only ones teaming up.
If you would have told me a year ago that our family's safety depended on winning a karate tournament, I would have thought you were joking. Here we are, living in the Twilight Zone.
There we go. Terry Silver returns. You barely get to see his face, so I guess he wouldn't really look familiar per se. But God, it's going to be so much fun. You got the high-flying action, you got the teen angst and trauma, and then you've got these goofy idiots trying to figure out how to be good masters.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're maybe finally ready to kind of be friendly, which is good. But I'm sure there's going to be some conflict about their individual styles. So just super fun. Okay. Next thing on my list, because I just took a note of it with all the Marvel stuff we watched, was that Chris Hemsworth in a movie called Extraction 2. I don't know about this.
Yes. I've never heard of Extraction 1.
Yeah, neither had I. I guess people must have liked it because Netflix greenlit a second movie.
Well, I mean, it has Chris Hemsworth in it.
Right. And so, again, I thought you'd be excited most of all.
Well, the movie just didn't...
There was a lot of... They just gave us a really quick look, and there was a lot of him bleeding.
Right. He gets shot protecting somebody, and then it's all about that. That's the whole scene.
I guess so, yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe we should go watch the first movie sometime, see if it's any good. But we don't have to. If you don't want to, it's not at the top of the list.
We'll put it on the list.
Okay. And maybe we'll get to it one of these days. There's so much other stuff we're watching. Okay. Umbrella Academy. Another show that I know we've mentioned, we haven't covered in depth, and part of that, at least in my head, is because you did not have any interest in it at first.
Umbrella Academy.
The first season, you were kind of like, nah, and I watched it by myself, and then you came in at like the last couple episodes, and then you were like, oh, well, this seems interesting. What's happening? And then season 2 we did watch.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember anything? It feels like it's been
Yeah,
years.
I do. I remember. So we ended. Well, actually, I'm. Sometimes I get the seasons mixed up. So I think it ended where the world had ended. And wait, no, that was all season 2, wasn't it?
Season 1 ended with the world actually ending, but then they went back in time, and then season 2.
Oh yeah, and then what's her name was in the 50s.
Yep, they were all. Well, they had all traveled to different points in time.
In the same place.
But then they wound up coming back together, and then they had to stop a nuclear apocalypse. And also, they sort of had to stop, what was her name? Number 7, or whatever her name was, from destroying the world again, by keeping her sort of stable. And then they made it back to the present at the very end of the season, only to find that their meddling had changed things. And instead of the Umbrella Academy that they were part of, there's now I think it was the Sparrow Academy or something like that. The Sparrows and a bunch of different superpowered kids. Some of them I think crossed over, like Ben, the kid that died and had squid tentacles coming out of him. So there was a little bit of crossover, but also a bunch of new faces. And so it's going to be Vanya. That was number 7's name. So that'll be interesting. A big question that I've seen flying around the internet is how are they going to handle Vanya's character, because the actor formerly known as actress Ellen Page is now Elliot Page and is, a transgender man.
I don't know that they have to, because she was always very, you could tell.
Well, but she had a femininity about her. She just wasn't flaunting it like some of the other characters, maybe.
Yeah.
And so the question was, how are they going to handle this? And then part of me thinks, well, it wouldn't take a lot of retconning, how the season ended, since they did this whole time travel. Now the future has changed. Maybe as they were traveling through the dimensions in space and time, maybe Vanya changed. It would be easy enough to write it away, right? To just be
I don't think they need to address it.
Vanya?
I don't think they need to address it at all.
Well, if they don't address it at all, then is Vanya still a girl?
Does that matter?
Well, I don't know. Does it? That's a fair question, too. Does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Well, because Vanya was a girl and a lesbian.
You know that male and female is really not, it's just what we created. The idea of what is man and what is woman is something that humans created, of what this today, society has bred us to feel about human. It's really not, she's a person or he's a person. That's it. I don't think you need to say they changed or they did anything, because it still feels like the same person to me.
Well, and I think it will feel like exactly the same person, but on a strictly visual basis, Vanya did have boobs.
Barely.
Elliot Page does not have boobs anymore. So yeah, I feel like they'll probably address it in some fashion,
I don't know. Unless they're going to have to explain saying he or.
Right. And using male pronouns, that's going to be a change. And I think it's good. To have representation on screen, which we'll also talk about when we do our Why the Last Man episode. I think it's going to be great to have that representation on screen for entertainment in general. And of course, for, trans people or anyone LGBTQ, it's good to have more and more representation out there so you can see, yourself reflected on screen. So I think all that's great. And maybe to that end, I think it would be good to address it in some fashion instead of just being like, yep, that's just Vanya. And
just ignoring
as
it.
if nothing ever happened. Yeah, I don't know.
I
think there's a way
right.
to write it. I don't know what the right way to write it is, but I think there's a way to write it. Unfortunately, they showed us nothing. They did some handheld cell phone stuff with the cast members, and it was cute and kind of goofy, but they didn't show us anything from any clips, no trailers, no nothing. So I got nothing for you guys to listen to right now. But it was still pretty cool. And then finally, the last one on the list, The Witcher. The Witcher. I'll come back to the actual Witcher. Let's go. They did Blood Origin second, but let's just talk about that real quick. They gave us sort of a behind the scenes briefly of The Witcher Blood Origin. They showed us some of their studio stuff. They showed us like an outdoor location because they're doing some filming in Iceland. And they showed us just a little like they were starting a table reading, and Michelle Yeoh was there, which got me very excited because I knew she was in the show, but I just love her. You know who I'm talking about, right?
No.
Fine. She's okay. She was in Shang-Chi as the aunt at the very end. Her. Right. And she was also the mom in Crazy Rich Asians. Freaking dogs. You guys are making podcasting very difficult. Oh, they're going to start playing now. Won't this be fun? Or fighting. I don't know. One of the two. Enjoy it, audience.
They play fight.
Yep. So we didn't really get to see anything. Like nothing big, nothing representational of what we're going to see in the show. But I say all that to say that they also announced that there will be another animated Witcher film coming. So they were starting to work on that because Nightmare of the Wolf was so good.
It was really good.
And then the part that kind of broke my brain was that they're also working on a Witcher series that is kid-friendly and for families. Can you explain that?
Yes, I can't explain. No, I can't. But I did. Hey, now he's chewing on the corner. Get him. Stop him from doing that.
What's he doing?
He's chewing on the corner.
Okay, dude, stop it.
Ugh. No, I can't imagine that.
Welcome to our lives. If this podcast ends anytime in the next couple months, it's because we can't handle the dogs. Just the one dog. Sophie, the dog of Thrones, has always been good. I mean, we could put him in his kennel,
but I just, ugh.
Okay, you back off. Go. Back away. Back away. Lie down. Right. So how can we do a family-friendly Witcher series? I can't.
Well, I mean, they're just going to take out all the sex, I imagine.
Well, and the violence.
And the violence,
right?
It's
got to be no sex, no violence.
It'll be like Gulliver's Travels.
I made a joke once about how Game of Thrones was going to do an animated show, and I said maybe it would be like, Game of Thrones Babies. But Witcher Babies actually has a nice ring to it. It could just be like the story of young Geralt growing up in Kaer Morhen with his friends.
Totally.
Going on goofy adventures.
Yes.
It could be that.
It could be that.
Whether it's live action or animated, I don't know. But it could be that.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, we'll watch it. I'm sure it'll be fun. All right, so let's talk about The Witcher. Oh, they showed us multiple clips and then the actual trailer that we could take a listen to. The first clip they showed us involved The Witcher talking to some creature with tusks. Remember that?
Yes.
Uh-huh. So that creature's name is Nivellen, or Nivellen, or something like that. And we talked about him many moons ago. He came up as a Witcher headline because of the casting. It was actually a Game of Thrones headline because of the casting. So that beast with tusks that you saw was Christopher Hivju, who played Tormund Giantsbane in Game of Thrones.
Really?
Do you remember we talked about that like so long ago? No? Okay.
No.
Someone out there does. So we talked about that ages ago. So there he is. All the makeup in the world on. You'd never know it was him, but still pretty cool. Okay, so two things to know about that clip. I do owe everybody, and this will be more in the run up to The Witcher, which is 12 weeks away. So I got a little bit of time to finish preparing it, but I do want to do a book report on the first Witcher novel. It's a series of short stories, very episodic. And almost all of them were from season 1 or went into season 1 of the show. But there was one story in that book that didn't, and it was the story of Nivellen. And I'm interested to see how it changes for the series, because right away we heard Geralt refer to Nivellen, or whatever his name is, as his old friend. But in the story that's in the first Witcher book, they just met. But they did get along. I don't want to spoil much, and I said this many, many months ago, it's a very Beauty and the Beast kind of story. This accursed being living in a castle, and there's a girl involved, but it is different and darker than Beauty and the Beast, as you would hopefully expect from something like The Witcher. But it's sort of a twisted fairy tale take on it. But anyway, so they're just having a drink and throwing knives and stuff, just for fun, because that's what guys do. And he asks, have you told the girl the truth? I assume he's talking about Ciri, that witchers take kids and fill them with herbs and spices to make more witchers.
Right.
And Geralt seems troubled by this question, so I'm guessing the answer is no. But that does speak to where we're going with the Ciri character, doesn't it?
She's going to be a witcher.
Mm-hmm. I think that's...
She's the first female witcher.
Is she?
Well,
is that a thing?
I mean, I haven't seen any.
You know what? You're right. I have also not seen any female witchers. And just from thinking to the video games, what little I know and what little I know from the books and that Nightmare of the Wolf movie, yeah, I don't think we ever saw any girls, did we?
Mm-mm. Huh. Now, what happens if a non-witcher takes that potion that he always takes, where their eyeballs explode?
I think you would quickly die because those potions are very toxic and you have to have witcher level like constitution to be able to process that.
It doesn't seem like he really needs it. He kicks ass without it.
But he kicks more ass with it. I think it lets him see better. I think it focuses his senses and might also make him stronger. But, you know, in the books and the games, he has many different potions that he can make. We don't really see that much detail in the show.
Okay.
But there is a toxicity level in the video games. So that could come into play eventually. But yes, if you're a normal human, you do not want to drink a Witcher potion. That much I can say for sure.
All right, kids, stay away.
Yep, stay away from the Witcher potions, kids. Then they show us a second clip where Ciri is sleeping somewhere in a comfy looking bed. Geralt wakes her up and says, you got to run away. There's a Bruxa in the house.
A Bruxa.
Uh-huh. And she's like, what? And then
what?
He drinks a potion, or if you have autocorrect on, he drinks a lotion. Thank you, phone. Tells Ciri to get the hell away, and he starts going down a hall investigating, but all we hear is a croaking noise. So this could turn out to be a monster. It could turn out to be a cute little frog.
It sounds adorable. It's all chittering.
It didn't sound like a dangerous monster.
Right. It sounds more like a gremlin.
A prince that was turned into a frog. I don't know.
Well, not a gremlin, a Mogwai.
Oh, that would be adorable. But he'd probably have to kill it.
But then you hear moaning like somebody's being pleasured.
Did you?
Yes.
I missed that part.
At the end, there was a moan.
Oh.
And it was a moan like a, I don't know, something like that.
And then we got to watch a trailer. So this one's a little bit longer than the first two, but it's The Witcher. So we're going to take a listen to that. And you're going to hear some new characters. And then we'll discuss briefly before we sign off. Here we go.
Evil is evil. Lesser. Greater. Middling. It's all the same.
Something out there waits for you. Something more.
Oh, fun. There is no more hiding from Nilfgaard.
She's worthy. Find Geralt of Rivia. He is your destiny.
I need to understand some things. You claimed the law of surprise and got me. Why?
Slay this beast!
I saved your father's life.
What exactly is Cameron?
You're home. Finally.
Vesemir. I brought her here so she'd be safe. To protect her.
It's hard to do when I don't know who I'm protecting. Or what I'm protecting her from.
You spend a lifetime alone. What changed you?
Yennefer of Vengerberg.
I want to be powerful. Do you have what it takes? I dream of becoming important to someone.
You're important to me.
This is your legacy. Save these people. This continent.
you're in chains behind enemy lines, Yennefer.
Do you really think offering me as a sacrifice will spare your failure?
You're blind. The war's just begun.
Human class.
Monsters do bad things to people. Humans do bad things to everybody.
Monsters are more than this horrid looks, claws, and teeth. Monsters are born of deeds done. Unforgivable ones.
Okay, there we go. Now that is a hell of a look. There were a lot of clips from the first season, but also some looks of new stuff. Possibly most importantly, for anyone that again knows the books or the games, we meet Vesemir, who was one of Geralt's mentors. Well, he was the star of Nightmare of the Wolf, but now he's an old man.
Right.
He's aged quite a bit.
I mean, not.
What was that?
I was thinking about the way he looked when he was young.
Oh, okay. The animated version.
Yes.
Right. He was a hottie. Now he's probably sort of a broken old man, but he's still a witcher, so I'm sure he's still very strong and capable.
He must be like 1,000 years old.
Maybe I'm gonna guess about 150.
No, because they don't age. How?
Well, they age a little bit. They just age. Well, they age really slowly. Like Geralt is 70 or something, right? So if Geralt is 70 and we saw all those adventures of Vesemir when he was young, then
Well, I guess.
Well, he's probably well, actually, he hasn't been a witcher that long. He might just be like 90.
So he's a normal
100?
dude almost.
I don't know. Yeah, that's
he was pretty old in the show.
They should have de-aged him a little bit more, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to figure out that continuity. But anyway, we see him. He's the one questioning Geralt, at certain points during the trailer.
Right.
And one of the things that comes up is his love of Yennefer, which while we were watching it the first time, you were like, why?
Right.
Explain.
I was like, what is the attraction? Why does he keep why is he so obsessed with her? He's a witcher. He can just go anywhere and get screwed anywhere. And he doesn't love. But then you reminded me.
Why can't he love?
I don't know.
People always say
that was part of it.
Well, I think the rumor, the sort of common knowledge, quote unquote, is that witchers don't have emotions. They're monsters. They're mutants. They're killers.
I didn't think they had the ability to feel that.
Well, that's what people seem to think. So I guess you're one of those people.
I guess so. Stereotypical.
Yep. You're just one of those. But by all, when we see him, he can laugh. He can enjoy himself. He can be serious. He can be sad and feeling guilty. He can do all sorts of things. And we did see him declare his love for Yennefer in season 1.
He also declared his love for the girl that he left. Oh, no, that was Vesemir.
You're talking about the animated thing. Well, yeah, see, Vesemir was in love with that girl. So love's a real thing.
No, he loved her before he turned into the Witcher.
Well, yeah, but he didn't lose his capacity for love afterwards.
Okay.
So, but then the other thing to keep in mind about Geralt is that he did get feelings for Yennefer seemingly when they first met during the whole thing with the genie and the lamp and the 3 wishes and all that. But then he took those feelings and made his final wish to be tied to Yennefer forever.
Geralt.
So now he can't help but be obsessed, I imagine. And even though Yennefer found out about the wish and now hates him, she's not going to be able to get away from him either because they're magically bound by a genie.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any break in that shit. Although Yennefer was able to fix Jaskier's throat. Well, maybe there's a way to break it. But maybe she doesn't really want to break it because maybe she kind of digs him anyway, even though she's mad at him.
Maybe.
Oh, some of that stuff will be part of the book report too. There are some significant differences in how all that stuff went down in the book. Anyway, the other thing that was pretty interesting in that trailer that you'll see if you watch it was that we have Yennefer and Fringilla talking, and Yennefer has been captured by Nilfgaard. So we see that in this trailer. We didn't really see how that all played out at the end of season 1 with the Battle of Sodden Hill, where Yennefer does all the fire and just torches everybody. So she's been captured. We don't know what Fringilla's plan is, but then we see Yennefer and Fringilla get captured. And thank you to subtitles, they told us that the person capturing them was Filavandrel, the elf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he's come down out of the mountains, which is kind of Geralt's fault for saying he should do that. Maybe he brought his goat man.
God.
I like that guy.
I don't like that guy.
But Filavandrel's back, and he's going to play some kind of role in the drama of this season. So we have that to look forward to.
I cannot wait.
So that wraps up our report on TUDUM.
TUDUM.
And it was a good show. We didn't watch all of it. I will freely admit that. It was 3.25 hours.
Some of it was in Spanish. Some of it was in Korean.
Nothing against that stuff, but it just hasn't been stuff
we've been
well, we didn't understand, but it was subtitled, but still it's not the shows we're following. We skipped the whole anime portion. So we skipped around a lot, but there is
stuff for people that like that kind of thing, so go check it out.
Right. Kudos to Netflix. There is something for everyone.
Sure is.
They do not shy away from nerd culture. We got a lot coming up. So, yeah. Now, the problem I have, and I think I said this 1 or 2 episodes ago, is that we have Lord of the Rings coming out in December and The Witcher coming out in December. Or wait, no. Lord of the Rings is in November, but it's going to be many episodes. Then The Witcher comes out in December. And then now Cobra Kai comes out in December, like a week after The Witcher.
Why can't they span this stuff out?
Well, because
so that they have watchers all year long. Like we have,
I don't know.
Come on, people.
Well, but we don't have Stranger Things yet. We don't have Sandman yet. I mean, there's more stuff coming in 2022. So as we get to the end of 2021, they're going to dump some stuff on us. There's a lot more coming. And then we're going to have a whole nother series of Blood Origin too. Our card is going to be full. There's so much nerdy shit coming out. So
I know that's the problem. It's going to be full. We need a little bit at a time.
We're only doing this show every other week as it stands, but we might have to go a little more often depending on how, like for The Witcher, I think that show deserves an episode by episode breakdown. Don't you? We'll probably get Lore Master Kevin back. I'll do a book report, yada, yada, yada. So it's coming. But for the next couple of episodes, we'll be talking about Y the Last Man. That will be interesting.
Yeah.
Another post-apocalyptic show. Got a lot of those.
It's also intriguing.
Yep. Very much so. So we'll be back soon with that. All right. I think there's only one way to end the show. Let's do it together.
Ta-dum! God. It's so bad. I bet they're going to rename themselves.
The TUDUM Network? Okay.